Good morning. Still, it's
Well done.
three. It's 3 minutes to 12. We've gone live a little bit early on the Havering Means Business Does lunch. Hope you're doing really well. We've got Phil waiting in the waiting room, so I'm gonna let him in so we can have a little chat. And we've got Russ on tech support. And Phil was just connecting. Hope your week's gone really well. Certainly, my week's gone well because I found out today that I passed the last exam I need to become a chartered financial planner, and that's been 3 years, 3.5 years in the studying. So I'm having a good Friday. How's your Friday going, Phil?
Yeah, going very well. Taking it a little bit easier today in terms of getting it outdoors and stuff, but got tons of admin and marketing to get through. So yeah, trying to do the flip side of the business today. So
yeah, you know what, you need a bit of time working on and in, don't you? You need a bit of time doing both, and I think the challenge that I've found, particularly in the early days, is getting that balance right. I think I'm better at it now, but it's a while.
But yeah, I think you find your natural rhythm, your natural flow, and then obviously, think new things come in, other things come in, and obviously that will disrupt it for a while. But then I think you find your natural, as long as you're not putting it off, and you're actually trying to get through it and trying to action these things, and you'll kind of get through it at your own sort of pace.
I mean, I think my actual flow is just realizing that I'm not that good at particularly much, and if I can get it, that's what I'm going to try and do.
So concentrate on the things that you're excellent at.
I'm still trying to work that out. That's the problem. What am I actually good at? I'll get there eventually.
I was going to say, with passing your exams, I think you're probably being a little bit overcritical on yourself there.
Well, you know what? It's interesting because the chartered status. So the minimum level of qualification is to be diploma qualified, and I've had that for 15, 20 years now. But the chartered status is really the top tier of qualification you can get when you're a financial advisor or a planner. And actually, it's still quite rare to achieve that level. I can't do any more academic study in that space. So to get there after a bunch of years' work trying to achieve it, I've got to be honest, mate, it feels amazing.
I was going to say, it's not kind of a, with becoming chartered with anything is obviously, because it's not just exams, is it? That you obviously, it's about kind of experience and obviously about case studies and things like that, and actually being obviously kind of showing that you're sort of like elite in your field.
Yeah, I mean. There's the professional qualification element, there's the experience element, and there's also the case study element that form part of the academic qualification. And you know what, that's been challenging over the past few years because I've had to mix it with the day job, had to mix it with raising a family and making sure I'm there for them, mix it with... Thank you, Sharon. Sorry, I really don't want this to be the Chris Dave show, so we're not talking about something else apart from that. But I am quite excited.
Yeah, you do a lot for the community, so let people celebrate on your behalf as well.
Yeah, but just like getting the balance right has been good. So yeah, I'm feeling good today. How did your first outdoor boot camp after lockdown 2 go?
Yeah, it went really well. So last weekend was brilliant. We had fortunately we had amazing weather as well. So the sun came out. So yeah, it was brilliant. It was brilliant. The feedback's been really good. But obviously with anything, especially obviously in the fitness industry, December is a bit of a tough sell for lots of people in December. People were more interested in January most of the time when you get to the end of the year.
I'm coming on the 19th. One of my non-business tasks is to come along to the boot camp on the 19th. I'm looking forward to seeing you.
Nice.
Actually meeting in person.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I feel it kind of feels a bit weird because I've been meeting so many people and get to kind of feel like you get to know them, but actually not actually met them face to face yet. But obviously the power of Zoom and what we've had to be doing through lockdown, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, no, it's good stuff. What do you do in terms of? Hi everybody. Sorry, we will. I like sort of. It's not the Phil and Chris show. We will get around to it. I promise.
No, keep talking. I want to know more about boot camp.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. I'm just. You know what's weird though? We had I was at my gym yesterday night. I did a couple of sessions, and there was a guy there who had joined in December instead of doing it in Jan. And his logic behind it was like, if I get started in December, I'm sort of in front of the curve, and I think
Absolutely.
there's validation to that.
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly kind of what I've kind of been saying to him. And don't obviously the when you start in terms of it's more just a mindset, isn't it? Because when you start, it's really arbitrary.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
whether you start in December or January, if it doesn't matter. You're still going to be doing the same thing. You're still likely going to have the same goals. It's just mentally, I think lots of people just think, oh, coming up to the end of the year, I'm gonna December. I'm gonna enjoy myself. Like what's the point, sort of thing. But yeah, like but it's horses for courses. It is if people got commit themselves, obviously they've got to do what works for them. Otherwise, they're not gonna kind of commit to the long term, are they?
And one thing, I'm certainly because we're doing the Spitfire Scramble together. I'm not gonna ask you to get involved in any more fitness challenges with me, but I've been invited to one that is petrifying me at the minute. Right?
Oh yeah.
My mate Brian, he's ex-forces, so
okay. So it's gonna be.
Yeah, this one's a bit extreme, and this is the way he pitched it to me earlier in the week. He went, it's only a burpee a day. I was like, okay, sounds all right. But we had one on for every day of the year.
Yeah,
now I'm thinking, January, I'm relaxed.
Yeah, I was going to say,
May, August.
Yeah,
like that's too much.
I almost did like a little advent challenge, the same thing. Start on one, add one every day until Christmas, basically. But I thought with everyone getting involved, I thought I wouldn't punish people too much with the burpees coming up to the end of the year.
Yeah, exactly. I might jump into that one and sort of duck out February time and see.
Well, yeah, over 300 burpees. Sounds a bit grim.
Sharon, how are you?
Spread them out through the day.
You know what? That's what he said to me. He said to me, "You haven't got to do them all at once." I was like,
so you don't have to do them in one sitting then?
Well, you can, like, as long as you do apparently the rule is as long as you do them throughout one day. But
yeah,
300 burpees in a day in December. Like,
yeah, it's pretty.
I've got a feeling Christmas Day would be quite tough. Sharon, how are you?
Yeah, all good, thank you. All good. Does he want to know more about your boot camp, Phil? Where do you do it?
So I do them online. So obviously over Zoom, so they're interactive. So you can join in online on a Tuesday morning or Tuesday evening, or a Thursday morning or Thursday evening. But also we go outdoors. Currently do twice a week. So Wednesday mornings over at Damintor Aerodrome in Upminster, and also Saturday mornings as well.
I need inspiration for next year.
Well, come along. As I said, they're for all abilities. You go at your own pace. It's not. There's no judgment or expectation. It's just obviously encourage community, and obviously it's important with community because a lot of people find that on their own doing their own thing, they really don't always find the motivation themselves. Whereas if you can keep it community, keep it socially based, then a lot of people find it a lot more engaging, and that becomes more the draw than the exercise themselves. You can do something positive while actually getting involved with the community.
You know what? Certainly that, like my gym, I've got friends at my gym now. I go because I enjoy the interaction. And
yeah,
I mean, it used to be we used to go down the pub as well, but it don't happen anymore. But after a session,
not before the session.
Sharon, how's life for you?
Yeah, no, all good. Really, really good. Busy,
good.
But
so how's your week been? Tell me about what's been going on.
Sorry, I missed some of that.
That's all right. Tell me what's been going on for you this week.
Right, I'm on a screen, all right? You take care.
This week's been trying to get all client work up to date, because what I don't want my clients to be doing is having to think about anything over Christmas. Yeah. So I'm trying to get everything. Their back returns have got to be filed by the 7th of January. I want to get out of the way before Christmas so that everybody can just go away, relax, and not have to worry about it, including me.
So head down, just getting the work done. How did your webinar was last week as well, wasn't it? How did it go?
That went so well. We had a few technical hitches first thing. So we lost the Zoom link first thing in the morning and we had to send out another one. Excellent. Thank you, Zoom. Zoom is still coming back to us saying, we haven't found it yet. Funny that, it doesn't matter now. It's sort of irrelevant, but cheers. Then I turned around and knocked over a hot cup of drink all over my desk. And smashed 2 mugs on the floor. It's like 10:28 and we go on at 10:30. So I just threw a towel over it and thought, you know what, under the towel, nobody can see it. It'll be fine. I'll deal with it after.
Doesn't matter.
And off we went. And it was really, really
Tell
good.
everybody though. Did you let everybody know that you'd done it, or did you just style it out?
Oh no, they all knew about the Zoom link, obviously, but I didn't tell them I'd gone and thrown a cup of hot drink everywhere, and I just covered it up with towels, and it's a bloody good job it wasn't a live thing, because they, or a real word thing, because they couldn't see the towels on the floor, so it was fine.
Yeah.
And we planned next year's marketing, so we planned through to April next year, with webinars, newsletters going out, so we've got all that beginning. And then that just duplicates through the year. So we've got a bit of a structure. So it's going to be good.
Yeah, and we're doing a webinar together next year, aren't we?
We are.
Which I'm really excited about.
April.
Well, I'm doing one with various professional partners throughout the year. So I reckon Savello will probably do one once a month with different partners throughout the year. The first one I'm doing in Jan is with a couple that I've known for a little while, and we do some work for their clients. And they run a retreat for people who are like chief executives who are thinking about retiring, about what happens next in their life and what purpose means. And I'm going to come on and talk about getting financial clarity for those individuals so they can be confident enough to take their jump. So that should be exciting. And I can talk about me being a chartered financial planner. That's brilliant. I love that. Ian, how are you?
I'm good. For some reason, I can't seem to unmute myself. So if I get noisy, please excuse me.
It's funny after a year of Zoom, we're still trying to work it all out, right?
It doesn't always work in Ian's defense. Sometimes
there we go. Yeah, I perhaps I've just got fat fingers and I keep on pressing the mouse too much. I don't know. Anyway, no, things are going all right. I've got a deadline for Christmas as well. I've got one of my clients' applications for a consumer credit license to finish off.
Okay.
And that's a really interesting piece of work. They had a license when it was regulated by the Office of Fair Trading. Now that they're all regulated through the FCA, as you can appreciate, Chris, you've got to jump through a myriad of hoops. And he keeps on saying, "Oh, I didn't have to do this before." I said, "I know that. It's because you've got to change the regulator." Yeah. So yeah, that's keeping me my mind occupied as much as anything else, because again, as you know, they're not just interested in treating customers fairly and all that kind of stuff. They're actually interested in how you get to your result.
Yeah, I mean, because we're directly authorised with the FCA, when we did that, I mean, that was a 6-month process, just getting signed off, and they wanted business plans, and like sort of, if we're going to give you permission to directly interact with clients through no intermediary, are you going to do it properly? And actually, I think if you're, again, I've said this before, if people are trusting us with their life savings, I think we're entitled to jump through a few of those hoops. It's frustrating sometimes, certainly when it gets overtly bureaucratic, but I get why they're there.
Yeah. This is it. It's one of the reasons why I find what I do so interesting, because you have to listen so intently and delve right down into some of the dirty bits. Yeah, we hate doing this, we hate doing it. Okay, fine, but you've really got to do it if you want to make this part of your business fly.
Yeah. Or as we've said earlier in the call, delegate it. Delegate to somebody like you who actually enjoys doing it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, enjoy might be a bit strong a word, but it's interesting certainly. But and it really kind of fits alongside the other compliance things that I do. So when you're looking at consumer credit license, there was something that came out from the FCA 2 weeks ago, that said, you know, we are going to be hard on any licensed professional that doesn't have good data protection practices in place. So that's part of what they want to see from you.
100%. I mean, if you're keeping data on a client, you need to make sure that it's kept safe, right?
Yeah, and up to date.
Cool. Right, I'm just going to go around. We'll talk about businesses in a bit more depth in a minute. But Paul, how you doing, mate?
I'm doing fine, mate. Doing fine. Been a quietish week for me work-wise, but all going good.
Good. How's council stuff going this week?
Oh.
Major. Look, whatever you do, you're going to be busy, aren't you?
Yeah, one side or the other, I'm going to be busy. But it looks like we're having well, the chance of us going into tier 3 next Friday is pretty high. How that affects the rest of you, I don't know. But yeah, that's likely. If it doesn't for any reason, you almost guarantee it'll be in the first week of January. We'll probably hit tier 3.
Yeah, it's interesting. What are the stats looking like then? Have they gone up in terms of cases?
There were 370 odds per 100,000, but that's before we started testing the 11 to 18-year-olds.
Okay.
So when those tests come through, the numbers are going to rocket. So, you know, expect it. Yeah, I'm going to be very, very surprised if we don't, but expect it. So it depends on when those numbers hit the books and they say, right, London, you're going up.
Yeah, you reckon it'll be the whole of London, or?
Oh yeah. They put London together before because they said too much disparity between people walking around. So if for instance Havering was tier 3 and people working in London, they're not allowed to go to work officially. So it was just a case of easier to make the whole of London one thing. We would have been in 3 had they kept it Havering anyway.
Yeah.
The fact that it was brought down to a 2 as a joint thing, but that's just the way it is. IT wise, I'm noticing a huge increase in the amount of scam emails and things going out, fake parcel deliveries, emails, phone calls. People have got to be so on their ball, even, you know, and I used to be older people falling for it, but I'm finding younger people are falling for it more and more now. It's quite, you know, but I thought the young people were very much switched on, but I suppose the technique of getting them to, you know, start giving away the information or do the wrong thing is getting better.
Yeah, you know what? It's really interesting. I think I spoke to you about this before, Paul. But one of the things that I'm the most professionally proud of in my career, about 6 or 7 years ago, a mate of mine, Darren, he runs a financial planning firm up in the Midlands, came and had a chat with me about starting a petition. So probably some of you know, if you want something debated in Parliament, I think it's 100,000 signatures you need to get it debated.
Yeah.
And he came to me and he went, I've just had a friend of a client who got scammed, pension scam. And what we didn't realise at the time, certainly Darren didn't realise, is that it was currently legal to receive a pension cold call. So you could get a call out of the blue and get that done. And he phoned me up and he said, Chris, you're a bit noisy. Can I rely on your support? I said, yeah, 100%. So I was one of the original 5 signatories of that petition. And it got to about 80,000 signatures. Martin Lewis from Money Saving Expert got involved, and Moneybox and Radio 4 got involved, and a few people. And then it was due to get debated, and this thing came along called, I don't know if you remember it, Brexit. And it's a bit more topical now, it's back in the news. But last year, it became law for pension scams, like a cold call about your pension, to be illegal. And I was really proud of the work we did on that, because it's like that will save people millions of pounds of scams. Challenge you've got is it still goes on, because even though the law's in place, you're not going to stop the scammers. And it's about awareness then.
Yeah, if they're based abroad, they bypass, you know, a lot of the checks and balances, but also there's virtually no chance of catching them. So yeah, that's the issue.
But the challenge you've got is then it's about raising awareness about scams, and as you say, there seems to be a lot of prevalence of scams going along at the minute.
I think on average, people are scammed for £775. That's an average. So
Yeah.
you might lose several thousand, you might only lose 10, but on average, £775 from a single phone call or a single email you've responded to. So
yeah, the reason it was frustrating for me is certainly with pension scams, that could be somebody's life savings that they've been scammed out of, and it's just, you know, it just frustrates and annoys me. So yeah, no, certainly worth highlight. And Sharon, there's a lot of HMRC scams going on at the minute, isn't there? I mean, I've had an email this week and a text message from scammers, and it seems to be everywhere.
Absolutely, those they are prevalent, and the big message is HMRC is still in the dark ages, and they will never ever communicate with you on things like this other than in a letter through your front door. They won't send you emails. They are now sending text messages to remind you to file your tax returns, but they're just reminder messages. It's not saying click this link, do this, you owe us money, we're going to come and get you. And it is prevalent. Mum had a call a couple of weeks ago, Saturday morning, guy came to me from HMRC saying that she owes money, and that she owes her money, and they're going to be coming round to collect it, and she should pay them in Amazon vouchers. And my mum was saying, I'm going to have to go and get these Amazon vouchers. Mum, don't be ridiculous. Stay where you are. Do not do anything. It's like, what on earth?
I mean, it's so
right.
comical that, but the thing is, it's that lack of traceability, isn't it? That's what they want. They want that lack of traceability. I'm surprised they didn't say luncheon vouchers. Am I the only one who remembers luncheon vouchers? I don't know.
The iTunes
voucher.
Yeah.
Ross,
the one I got caught up in is they actually called me and said, press 1. It was a tax investigation. Press 1 to speak to someone. Of course, I know it's a scam, but as you say, you know, as soon as you click that one button, you're linked to a premium phone line number, and things just start racking up.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know if your phone does it, but my phone has got a facility on it that effectively tells me if it's coming from a number known for scams.
Yeah.
So it flags it. So that helps a bit. But certainly.
But they've got clever, and they're coming from 0300 numbers, which is, it looks like an HMRC number.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, it's scary stuff.
They're very, very clever.
Ross, how are you getting on, mate?
I'm good, thanks. Yeah. Great shirt, by the way. I don't know if anyone's mentioned that already. Great shirt.
Well, they haven't. I'm waiting for Grant to mention the shirt, actually, because that's normally his job. But we haven't. I'm really excited. Grant, thank you for joining us, mate. We will get round to speak to you. And you've stolen his thunder now, Ross. Normally, his first comments about the shirt.
Well, I didn't mean to do that, but
you know what? It's Christmas jumper day today for some fun.
It is indeed.
And I don't own a Christmas jumper. They're not a style choice that I make. So I think this is probably the second best alternative. How's your week been?
We'll talk about getting scammed. I paid for speedy delivery on a Christmas jumper, and it was meant to arrive yesterday, and it still ain't got it yet. So I feel a bit scammed today.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely not speedy delivery. What Christmas jumper did you go for, out of interest?
It's just like a proper standard Christmas. I've got Christmas jumper and matching Christmas pajamas. It was a must. My girlfriend's told me it was a must. So
I like you styling out by blaming your girlfriend. We'll come on to that later.
Well, I'm paying for it. You know, some of these ideas I paid for it. So you know how it goes.
That's true.
Say about scams on delivery, I forgot to order a couple of Christmas presents, which my bad, all for me, but okay, we're sorting it. So I went onto a very famous chocolate company's website, and I thought, well, I'm just going to order a box of chocolates, have them delivered. And anyway, you can pay for express delivery, and you can pay for a 48-hour delivery. And as you go through their process, it then says, this will be delivered on the 7th of January. And I'm thinking, hang on, just paid for express delivery 48 hours. What do you mean it'll be delivered on the 7th of January?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not particularly express, is it?
Not exactly, no.
I got a feeling it'd be melted by then as well, Sharon.
But if you go on Amazon, you can order the same chocolates and they will deliver it.
That I mean that's an interesting debate, isn't it? Like sort of like for us being a community-based business group, like so that shop local thing versus convenience
Absolutely.
is interesting because I'm an Amazon user because they do deliver convenience, but it's getting the balance right between doing that and trying to support local businesses who really need it. Because let's be honest,
try the local thing, but the delivery is a bit naff.
Yeah, exactly. So what did you do then? What did you do in the end?
I did Amazon.
Yeah. So you got your shop away.
What you gonna do?
We'll come back to that. Kevin, how you doing, mate?
I'm doing very well, Chris. Thank you. Yeah, good week. So we're planning for next year, as we all are. But what I like to do is throw up an idea here on this group. We've got several good people, Sharon, yourself, myself. We're Havering focused. And we should be looking at Havering Retirement Advice Group, something like that, to go out with a council assistant that some local financial advice and council companies are looking to help on that basis.
I really
with
like
the eldest borough in Havering, in London. And something like that might be useful. I don't know whether Ross has got any good ideas on that side, but there's some advice on that part for the retired. We're talking about scams. Why don't we be a bit proactive?
Yeah, love it. Right, I need to.
This is a medium that the people that we're aiming this at, is this a medium that they would relate to? It's a question of, are they online, or are we better off with doing some kind of a leaflet?
You'd be surprised, Sharon. A lot of silver surface, I would say 55-60% now will be online. 15 years ago, totally agree with you. I mean, on that side, but a lot of them are online now. But I'm wondering whether it would be more collective, might be more powerful.
Mm.
I really like that idea. Can I give that some thought, Kevin, and come back to you?
With a shirt like that, Chris, you need to give yourself lots of thoughts, mate. But yes, you can.
Yeah. Have you also thought of linking up with the community centres around the borough?
No. Now it's off. Don't insult the shirt. Insult me.
I'm sure Cassie didn't choose that, mate.
Can I blame my wife as well? If Rossi's doing it, can I blame Cassie? Is that right? Is that allowed?
But coming back, Paul, would there have been any council support for anything like that? So I found it difficult getting that for the elder people we've got in the borough, get some general advice out.
I actually missed most of that conversation as I took a call from a resident.
I apologise. Let's read. What I put a suggestion forward is retirement age, pre-retirement age, group professionals we've got on here, do some sort of communication to the borough's side of it. From there, we've got enough connections. You and the council, Ross and Havering Daily, might be very useful. We used to have care guide, whatever, for the council stopped that. I don't know whether you could assist us with any guidance in the new year.
Yeah, all guidance is good guidance. However, the scammers change their tactics very frequently, and you run in the risk of actually making people too scared to do anything online or to move. If I put about someone or avoid this scam, it could affect someone else's business if they're actually very similar to that scam.
No, we're not talking about scams, Paul. We're talking about advice and general information to.
I think what might be useful to think about is some guidance on how to get good advice. What to look for, how to decide whether it's advice that you can trust, and the sort of things that you might want to mention. That might be worth doing. So that's good. Joe, how are you?
I'm really good. I'm jolly today, thank you. And I've got my Christmas thing on. Sorry.
No, don't apologise. I'm wearing a shirt. I've got nothing to talk about. Are you in the festive mood yet?
I'm getting there. But I'm like knee deep in stuff that I need to get out. So yeah.
You know what? This is the busy time of year for you, isn't it?
It's mental.
Yeah.
It is.
And when
I'm sorry, I've been like putting stickers on stuff as I'm talking. That's what I'm doing because I'm literally like having to multitask.
Yeah. And when does it slow down? Does it slow down sort of end of next week for you?
It will do, because we can't guarantee the delivery then, so it will tail off. But then people will still be asking me for stuff that I've got hanging around, but it will be a lot quieter.
What's happening with delivery? Can you get stuff out sort of literally to the end of next week, or when does it start?
Well, we're guaranteed, apparently 14th is the last order date to be guaranteed delivery, but it depends on so many other things. The ports are absolutely clogged up. They're turning away ships because they can't dock them. It's just an absolute nightmare. It really is. And then UPS and all the couriers are overstretched. They can't deliver half the stuff. And then because they've got a lot of casuals on, don't really care, a lot of stuff's getting damaged. It's just really, really quite hard at the minute.
Be interesting to see what happens with supply chains over the next few months as well, right?
Well, obviously all the factories are running on skeleton staff, and it's just going right back, source materials, and it's really, really biting now.
And Grant, I'm going to come to you in a minute, but I know Sharon's got to shoot off in a minute. So do you want to tell everybody and people on the live about a little bit about your business before you go, Sharon?
Yes, so Argos Accounting. We are an accounting firm, bookkeeping firm with a difference, because we work quite differently from your traditional firms. Basically, because we give a damn about your business. Our aim is not just to present you with tax bills and corporation tax bills, VAT bills. That's not the point of our service. If that's all we do for your business, we could work for HMRC. What we want to do is help understand your goals, help you then realize those goals, and work with you towards sending you in Chris's direction off to a happy retirement, having got all you can out of your business with a profit and a smile.
That's amazing. Thank you. I like the smile at the end, because you can't have fun with what you're doing. Why are you doing it in the first place, right?
So the big mission for doing this is, I've done 20 years in traditional accountancy firms, and accounting for every 6 minutes of my day, and then, oh, you didn't charge someone for this 6 minutes. Sometimes, you know what, I was having a cup of tea and I was having a chat over the kettle with a colleague, and I can't charge someone for that 6 minutes. And justifying every little thing that you're looking to spend. So £50 over an entire client base of 600 clients. How are we going to recover the cost? I suppose you could add 20p onto each person's invoice. They probably wouldn't care. Or you could just be nice and add the value and give the service, which is where I come from. Which
That's
is
interesting, isn't it? I think the key factor there is it a money-focused business or a people's-focused business? And interestingly, I think people-focused businesses profit better over the longer term anyway. But it's interesting how sometimes that perspective gets skewed.
For me, it's a human interaction. We work very closely with our clients. We're dealing with them on sometimes crisis management for some businesses and some owners, and we have to have a human relationship with them. It can't be. It's been a big debate with furlough claims, and do you charge or don't you charge for furlough claims? I haven't charged my clients for furlough claims because I just think, I'm sorry, that's ridiculous. Yes, it takes us time, but that's an investment we make into our clients' businesses to support them, to help them, especially through times like this where sending them extra bills isn't helpful.
Yeah, gotcha. It's investing in that longer term relationship, isn't it? That's
100%.
Yeah, fair enough.
And on that note, I'm really sorry, I'm going to have to go and talk to a client.
No worries. Have a lovely Christmas. See you later.
See you all soon. Have a
Bye,
good
bye. And now we come on to Grant. So Grant, how are you, mate?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Very well, thank you. What do you think of the shirt today? You liking it?
I do like it, yeah. I wish I had a shirt as great as that, I have to admit.
Thank you, mate. Tell us, I can just sense the sarcasm. Tell us a little bit about you. Now, I know you're active on the group, but what's going on in your life at the minute?
So I'm probably different to most people. I don't have a business. I'm not really engaging in business much. I'm 19 and I study politics.
Okay.
So I'm from the political tradition. I'm a member of one of my local political parties, and I think I'm very good friends with a local business owner, Sue Conyu. She does a lot of this. She's the one that brought me on here. And,
yeah, I know Sue well. So what's your interest in the business community? Help me understand what you're getting out of this at the minute.
Well, I think it was something, I think when lockdown happened, I think we were just sort of looking for local opportunities, and I think local businesses are important. I like that it's not just sort of high street shops. I like that it's a lot of like retirement thing, sort of agencies. I like that it's, I know Paul's a local councillor, but he's also got an IT firm, which is great. The Havering Daily, which obviously I'm sharing all the time. I think it's important to keep people in news, etc. And candles, which I love as well. So yeah, I think it's good. Yeah, that's what I'm getting out of it. I'm not really getting anything out of it. I'm just sort of interested in, and the fitness camp as well. Which we're sharing quite a lot in Hornchurch and Upminster Conservatives, because you're a great user of our Upminster areas, etc. So, yeah, we're sort of just doing that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Cool.
But, yeah.
Thanks for jumping on. I
Thank
appreciate it. It's good to have you as part of the community. So I hosted a session this morning for Havering Chamber, talking about 2021 plans, and I know Ian was on that call. But
I did try to join, Chris, but I couldn't get the details, the Zoom details. Extra early just to join.
Yeah, you know what, mate? It wasn't my. I wasn't actively involved in that. I don't know if Russ has something to say on that, but we're not going to be involved in that next year, because we want to be focused on building this community. So, but thanks for trying to jump on it at the very least. But one conversation we did have was about 2021 plans, and particularly, I know that I'm focused on what I'm going to be up to in 2021 in terms of what's new. Some of it in Cervelo. Now I can get the firm chartered. Now I'm chartered, so that's going to be the big sort of Q1 goal. But also with this community. So 2 questions. Number 1, tell us about your plans for 2021. And number 2, how can Havering Means Business support you to achieve that? Phil, let's start with you.
Well, what a question. So obviously for me, I'm obviously a very new business. Obviously I kind of started in sort of September-ish, but obviously actually only launched it. Took me sort of like 6 weeks or so with the lockdown and everything to actually launch. So I actually launched, I think sort of been running sort of about 5 weeks in earnest. So for me, 2021 is actually just, from now up until I guess sort of like January, February, building that awareness, obviously getting sort of like I guess getting myself in front of people. So that actually, because I guess in local businesses, the main thing is that people are investing in people, they're attracted to people, and obviously it's about trying to put your personality into whatever it is that you do. So yeah, so for me it's about just obviously trying to provide people with information about what I'm doing, trying to motivate people to take their health seriously, both physically and mentally. It's been a real tough year for everybody, and I think it's taken its toll on all of us in some form or other. So sorry, go Chris.
So one quick question, something you might be interested in terms of what we're doing at HMB, and again the website will be launched start of Jan. One thing we want to do is provide a bit of a knowledge platform for members. So some of you guys know Jenny Bardrick, who runs Radfield Healthcare in Havering. They're going to be doing some mental health training for us, hopefully. I'm going to speak to her about it this week, that we'll host on our platform for premium members. Would you be interested in getting involved in that and doing some health and fitness stuff? Because it'll help.
Yeah, for sure. Sure.
Cool. Okay.
Absolutely.
One way we can support you.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be amazing. As I said, because a lot of it is, as I said, it's, I think obviously the fitness industry as a whole is not always the most inclusive of industries, because as many people as it can obviously inspire or motivate, it can actually put a lot of the the everyday people off, which actually are the people that often need that the arm around the shoulder, and actually say it's not, doesn't have to be that intimidating, if you actually. And that's why a lot of what I'm trying to build is obviously community based, because obviously it's a lot less daunting than walking into your local gym, especially with everything that's been going on recently. People aren't always at the moment, especially in and out of lockdown, aren't feeling quite so comfortable going into the kind of the local gym as maybe they might have been before.
And your little video was really good, mate.
Which one? It seems like that's all I'm doing at the moment, creating videos and put myself in front of a camera, which has taken quite a while to quite a while to actually feel natural, to be honest.
You know what? I don't know if it ever does. I don't.
Yeah,
I mean,
I was going to say, so some of the it's weird. Sometimes you've got a kind of a clear idea of what you want to say, and you can get them done quite easily. Other times you feel like you're taking 100 attempts, and you give it up and come back the next day afresh.
the bit I always think about is nobody sees the outtakes, right? So it doesn't matter how many it takes, because like, unless you have a bit of a blooper reel, which you might want to do, nobody's going to.
I keep all the bad footage as well. So yeah, I'm sure. I think, to be honest, I think the blooper reel will be longer than the quality reel.
Even the professionals have just several takes, though.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what I've kind of it's kind of helped me is actually if you kind of think through actually what your message is, what you're trying to say in advance, that actually when you're actually putting the video together, it actually, because you want to be natural, you don't want it to be scripted. But yeah, if you have a clear idea of what you're trying to say in advance, rather than sitting in front of the camera saying, "Oh, I've got to do a video," sit in front of the camera and be like, all right, and now I need to, obviously, then you're kind of thinking on the spot what you're trying to say, and then it doesn't flow quite as nicely. So it's a lot easier if at least you have a plan in your head of what you're trying to get across anyway.
And I think video is the way of the future. I mean, we when we started the business, I did a lot of writing, written content that worked well sort of 8 or 9 years ago. But I think video is the way to go now. I think just in terms of getting engagement, it's better.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a lot of what I'm trying to do at the moment is it's almost like audio content, but through the form of video. So people can just listen to you even if they don't want to watch the video. So obviously a lot of what people are doing now is that obviously there might be, like, obviously a few of us have their headphones on or whatever, quite often the phone's in the pocket. So something comes on, you want to be able to engage with people, by spoken word, not always having to watch with your phone in front of your screen, because obviously the percentages of people using consuming content on their phone is massively higher. So a lot of what that promotes is people being able to consume content obviously on the move. So it's about trying to get the balance between people having to watch you and seeing what's going on the screen and actually just listening to what you have to say.
I think you make an interesting point, and one of the points there is repurposing content, because if you've got video, you've then got the opportunity just to take the audio from the video and turn it into a podcast or a download.
Absolutely.
And stuff like that. And certainly this isn't to do with the business, but my little hobby that I've got with Charlotte, where we do the podcast, we record everything on video and turn it into audio, and then just put it out on both platforms, and that seems to work.
Absolutely. Because obviously that caters for people who want to consume. Some people don't like watching or having they want to just listen, or they'll have it they might put
it on in the background. Yeah,
exactly. Especially at the moment, obviously, with the advancements of things like the echo and things like that, where people just put it onto their playlist and they're cooking or whatever in the house, they have it on while they're doing their other things, so they're listening and engaging partially while trying to be productive at the same time doing whatever they've got to get on with.
Yeah, spot on. Ian, talk to me about your 2021.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting time, I think. I think I'm the same as many people. Phil's mentioned video posts. That's one of my goals for 2021. I've applied for a grant to update my social media strategy, to put my own branding on my website, all that kind of stuff. And I'm hopeful that all of that investment is going to reap rewards. And it's the actual core of what I do, I don't think will change very much. I think the percentage of remote work and face-to-face work will change. I mean, I've been talking to a couple of people in Leeds over the last couple of weeks. We've never done that pretty much this year. Wouldn't ever had the opportunity to. So you've still got to be open to what the virtual world can offer you, and whatever group I belong to, I will be encouraging them to continue with virtual as much as face-to-face stuff. I think it's going to be an invaluable part of business.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because I think one of the things that I think about is like sort of with the web, you've got the global reach of seeing anybody anywhere. But with what we do, I still like sitting down with somebody face to face and doing the work. And we've got clients who have engaged via Zoom and said, actually, we're relaxed about working with you via Zoom now, Chris. But I've also been wanting to go back to see clients face to face, because the body language and the dynamic and the the relationship you build is different face to face than Zoom. But you're right, it does expand opportunities. What can we do at Havering Means Business to help you, mate?
I think for me that the best thing that you guys can do for me is to promote the importance of compliance. I see compliance as one of those tools that can gain you respect in your chosen field, in your chosen sector. If you've got up-to-date privacy policy that doesn't use jargon, uses clear language, same with terms and conditions. Again, terms and conditions, it's got to be as much as possible. There's certain legal bits that you have to state. But all of that sets gives a background to your presence and for your intention to be professional in what you're doing. Compliance can be a conundrum. How do I do this? What do I need to do for that? And that's one of the things that I can help with.
Solving the compliance conundrum.
Yeah.
I like that. Paul, what was 2021 looking like for you?
On mute, that's it. But yeah, it's going to be very, very busy. We're at 20. We start next year with being 1 year and a few months away from the next elections. So council-wise, that's the start of the ramp up to getting re-elected. And
so when does that start? When's the locals?
2020 May 2022 is the elections.
Okay.
And so this will be the proper start of the run up. So you've got to start getting all your ducks in line. So there's going to be a ton more work to be done on that. But for my own business, it'll be business as usual. But something you said earlier about remote working, to me, fixing someone's computer or even doing something for someone, it's 80%, sorry, it's 80-20. 20% of me actually fixing someone's computer is me physically doing the work. 80% of that is telling them what they've done, make them feel happy about what's been done. I could do a fantastic job and not let them know. And if something goes wrong again a few weeks later, they don't think you've done the job. So yes, letting them know what you've done and making them feel comfortable what's happened, and the chance of it going wrong again makes a big difference, which you can't really get on a remote.
You know what's interesting for me. I mean, you've proven that last week with Steve. To be honest, yeah. when you helped Steve out with his Zoom, but certainly the reality is any service industry, communication is key, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's really interesting. I do some work with a local law firm, and one of their lawyers spoke to a few years ago now, made a really good point, because he turned around and said, you know, half of our job, it's translation.
Yeah.
Taking what we know and the expertise we've got and turning it into language people understand, so they feel comfortable with what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I think we underestimate the power of that sometimes.
In IT especially, we do people who don't understand it enough, or even the supposed IT expert, if they can't describe it in a non-technical term, they don't understand it at all. To me, they might understand it to their level, but they couldn't teach it. If someone can't understand when you're saying something technical, if you can't say, okay, I'm going to break this down into a different way for you, you don't understand it enough to be able to teach it. If you don't understand enough to teach it, you don't understand enough to fix it. That's how I feel.
Yeah, and you know what? When somebody says to me, I don't understand, that's on me. That's not on them. Do you know what I mean? That's
always another way of saying it. You've got to find out how how their mindset works, but you can describe it in a different way.
Yeah, spot on. So thanks, Paul. Really appreciate that. I didn't realise that one quick question. Sorry, before you go on mute, I didn't realise the run up to the locals was so long. I mean, it seems like quite a long time to prep.
Oh crikey, no. Well, there's we've got like 11 or 12,000 people. I've got to go and knock on everyone's door and have a talk with anyone who wants to have a talk with me about it. So that takes months of just walking out and doing that.
What's the engagement like?
It really random. Sometimes people just say yeah, no. You get quite a few people say I'll never vote. Some people are staunch Labour, Conservative, Green, and some of them they want to engage, and a lot of them, some of them they even don't want to waste your time thinking if I hold him here he can't talk to someone else.
Yeah.
On the other part of it, some people do, you pick up a lot of new leads and a lot of things where people say I've got a problem. And you say, well, maybe I can help you with it. Yeah, not if I get in, but maybe I can. But so you end up with huge sheets of, this person's having this issue and that. So it can
you add to your to-do list as you're going around.
Oh, crikey, yeah. Yeah, you come back with so much stuff. But doing that, the prep for that is phenomenal. So, and it's not just a case of turn up and see if you get elected.
No, you got to put the work in.
Yeah,
people quite nice on the doorsteps. You find
again, real mixture. Most people are. You've just got to be prepared for people. Some people will slam the door in your face. Some people will be really nice. Some people will ask you in off your teas and coffees. I haven't got time for tea and coffee.
I've got 12,000 doors to knock on here.
Yeah, that's the.
Well, I see Grant smiling in agreement because I'm sure he does a bit of that as well. Ross, what's your 2021 looking like, mate?
2021 is all about growth. I think we have the potential to, in most of my key areas, double or at least grow by 50%. So it's going to be busy, but I've spent the last year working hard to make sure that everything was in place so that when we decided to scale, it would be straightforward and easy, and or as easy as possible.
How do you measure growth? Is it viewers?
Something like the Havering Daily, there's different metrics. I mean, obviously followers and likes are a key metric, because the more people that follow you, the more people like you, the more people that are going to read your content. It equates into more impressions. Advertisers get more bang for their buck, and so it's all about really measuring the growth on our social media platforms, but also engagement. Engagement is very, very important. So we talk about social media. It's okay to just put a post up. If it doesn't get any likes, if it doesn't get any, any kind of emotion to it, reaction to it, or any comments, it's not going to flag up in the algorithms as much. So we try to, we post questions, we create article, we put out content that we had people on, that either love the idea or hate the idea, and
it's fine, right?
Yeah, so Paul's very active in our comments in a lot of the articles. Being a counsellor, obviously has very strong opinions on certain things. So we encourage it. We want people to talk these things out. We don't want to cause.
Paul got a strong opinion on stuff. I didn't realise.
But it's just they're the kind of metrics we look for: engagement and followers.
And then is the plan in 2021 to relate that to revenue, to start building?
Yeah, of course. That's that side of the business. Obviously, there's KPIs the other side, and that's really around how many sales we make. Obviously, I've put a lot of content around the products and services that we sell, and it's about making sure that they give enough information to help answer a lot of the questions that maybe we get up front. I'm trying to make it so our customers get all the information they need. They'll have everything there to make a decision, and it cuts down on the time we have to interact, emails backwards and forwards. So it's just about tweaking the process so it's a polished gem, and it's something that can be replicated easily enough.
And I think in 2021, two ways that I know we're going to be working together quite closely anyway, but two ways that I'm going to support you. Number one, I think as we've spoken about, some content around spotting scams, because if we can use THD as a platform to help people not get scammed, I'd love to do that. But also, I think I might be able to support you with some articles on sort of business advice as well. So I think 10 years in, I've made a lot of mistakes, but we've built a decent business. So like talking about the things that we've gone along the way might be useful for you guys.
Excellent. And I'll have a think about the scam article as well, because for me now it's like a sixth sense. I can look at something and know it's a scam straight away.
Yeah.
I haven't even got to really look into it. I'll know the email address will be wrong.
I think the challenge you've got, and I'm the same, because you've got this where the challenge you've got is you assume that everybody's got that sixth sense.
Yeah.
But I don't think everybody has. And the other challenge is scammers are getting more sophisticated as well. And it's just trying to keep up with that routine. But yeah, no, give it some thought. We
can reach out to the Met cyber team or the Met in general and get some of the official advice from them to contribute towards it.
Sounds good. All right, cool.
I've got to be careful of not actually training the scammers as well. If you put out, this is what we look for, then that's when they start, changing what they know the real obvious.
Gotcha.
So you've got to be careful what information you put out as a really wide general, because otherwise that they obviously learn from their mistakes.
Yeah, true. No, it's a fair comment. Kev, what's 2021 looking like for you, mate?
At the moment, mate, continuation of the last 6 months, developing it more. Video communication, internet side, we've got to learn more on. The biggest problem is getting the time to spend on it. Like you're busy doing business with face-to-face, Zoom and phone, but it's certainly the director hat on. Next job be the step. It's there. Probably take 2-3 months to do it properly, but along the line, business is good. So unfortunately on that side, that it's not an urgent requirement, but a requirement which will be met.
Well, it's getting the working on and working in the business balance right, isn't it? Making sure that I'm doing some work at the minute for early next year on our ethical investment proposition, our green investment proposition, and that's I'm looking at that and going, this is a 3 to 6 month project. Knowing that, but the challenge I've got, interestingly, Kevin, is that a lot of people are coming to Savello and saying, where is my money invested and is it being used for good? So I need to make sure that we've got something in our kit bag effectively to make sure that we can answer that question. It's an interesting one.
Would that be like white labelling, Chris? Is that what you're talking about, white labelling an investment fund or having it in your own investment directly?
I'm looking at all the options at the minute, mate. But as you know, you can go as deep as because we're independent. I want to make sure that we're doing the due diligence in the right way. So yeah, I'm sort of deep in research at the minute, trying to get that right. But yeah, I'll let you know how I get on with that.
Okay.
Joe, how's your 2021 looking?
Well, my 2021 is looking fabulous. But what I'm most excited about is most of my business is currently concentrated around Brentwood and the satellite villages, really. And I'm really excited to be doing it in Havering, where I live. Yes. So this is where I really want to build up a bigger presence and a bigger business. I want to do Havering more than anything. But there's not really been the opportunity to do that before, because there hasn't been this kind of platform. I did actually open a networking in Hornchurch for a while, but it just took up too much of my time and took focus away from my business, which wasn't really the aim. So I'm happy for you to do the hard work and I'll just appear.
Well, look, I mean, to be like, let me be perfectly honest, right? So I run a business. There will be a commercial element to Havering Means business in January.
Yeah.
But we think it's going to be amazing value for the members who want to take up premium membership. Certainly the cost will be like a local chamber of commerce, so it won't be particularly expensive. But because I know that, you know what, it's interesting, Joe, because I've been involved with these sort of groups throughout 10 years. I know the sort of stuff that works, the sort of stuff that doesn't. My ambition is to make sure that we just do the stuff that works, and it's worth it. But I agree, we're in a position where Havering, there's been a massive gap in that area for way too long, right?
There really has. And, without being rude, and I'm taking a big gamble here by saying such a thing, but you know, there's an awful lot of all boys clubs with rules that don't involve women or businesses that people don't particularly, you know, value. And it's nice that this one has been so inclusive. So thank you for that.
No, 100%. And we want it to be, you know, there's enough space for Havering businesses to be, for all sorts of businesses to get involved and just support each other as a community. I mean, we're a family business. We're all about just including everybody and making sure everybody's joined in. So thanks for supporting Cassie on yesterday's call. She was full of flu, bless her.
Oh no, bless her. She looked really poorly. She did great.
Yeah, good stuff. And Elisabetta, hello, how are you?
Hello, everyone. Sorry I'm late. Very good, thank you.
Thanks for jumping on. Can you tell everybody about you and your business?
Okay. Hello, I know some faces. Hi, everyone. My name is Elisabetta Andrews, and with my husband, we produce and deliver authentic Caribbean food during the weekend. So we've been doing this since the lockdown. We have to change the way we were working. We were doing a lot of corporate and fine dining and wedding, but since then everything is gone pear-shaped. So we find a niche of Caribbean food around the area. So we delivering that every weekend, contactless, and that's it.
Help me understand what's happening with the corporate market. Is that just completely dead? Is it coming back? What's happening with it?
Absolutely. They've been saying they were trying to coming back in September, then in September, maybe January, but all the corporate, really people working from home, and there is not really any buffet or any lunches, anything like that. No. My client were lots of cancelled, the Havering one, the new one, the London Legacy. Nothing's been doing. The weddings have been cancelled. We had a wedding that was only for 35, then 18, and then that's been cancelled as well. We did a couple. We have next week a couple of Christmas lunches for places where they're having the people working together. So that is quite good. But the hospitality just gone down the drain, really. So I don't know when it will be back up.
Well, it's interesting because one of the questions we're talking about is what 2021 looks like for all of our businesses. What are your thoughts about 2021 in your business?
My business, I hope the things coming back a bit normal. People can get married again, because that was really lovely for us to get involved for months with the couples and deliver a very beautiful day. Hopefully corporates coming back on. That was really nice as well. But at the moment we keep on going with the delivery, the takeaway actually is delivery, and we offer as well Christmas for now, Christmas menu. We have for every test. My husband has been a chef for 35 years. And it's very, very good. Not because he's my husband, but it's really good.
You are biased.
No, I'm not. And he's been training French cuisine. He's Caribbean, so he's very good in that. So we're trying to give people whatever they like, really. We're not trying to keep it just Caribbean. So we have next post is the Christmas lunch delivered already to be warmed up for people that don't want to cook for themselves or for the family. And we have always turkey and vegetarian one, the Caribbean. So we're trying to adapt and always ask the client what they like. And so we like to satisfy the client.
What's the strangest request you've had over lockdown?
Oh, Gary, what's the strangest request we had? We had a lot of strange requests. We had to go about probably 15 miles away and charge them £10 delivery for 2 parties.
Right. Just 2 patties.
Yes. We had a monkey bread. Someone asked for a monkey bread, so we had to kind of find out what the monkey bread was.
What's monkey bread?
She says that she went in the Caribbean and she loved as a breakfast is monkey bread. My husband is Caribbean, but he never heard. So we search, we find out how to do. She says the best monkey bread she ever had. But then I research, and it's actually Hungarian. It's a Hungarian kind of bread that the people that were moving to America long time ago talk as a tradition, and it went around the Caribbean. So she think it's a Caribbean bread, but it's actually an Hungarian bread. So there is always funny things.
What's in monkey bread? Don't tell me monkeys.
No, it's
Brains of monkey.
Brains of monkey. No, it's a beautiful sweet bread. When we can have a meeting, I will bring one for everyone.
Amazing.
When we can have an actual meeting.
Thank you for delivering to the Dame's house over the past couple of months. It's been our special Saturday night treat. Even though Elisabetta, Russ is on the call, and I think he's petrified that you're going to make him do Photoshop again. I mean, like Jen.
That was so funny. I mean, we are very glad to be part of the website. I didn't have many good pictures of us. That good one is my husband as a chef. But as you see, he's very hard working, so he had a platform. The need his armpit. Say, I don't like that picture unless it can be photoshopped. Well, and your brother was fantastic.
It's been good. And you know what? I like that picture because it's Gary in action, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's Gary at work. So that's what we wanted. We wanted. I mean, Phil did get a few comments that sort of like I was worried about the equal opportunities line a bit, Phil, weren't you? You know, do you know what I mean? Like sort of, we're not doing a calendar yet. Is all I'm saying.
I think we've got your wife to blame for that. I think there, Chris, she started it off. She was the rabble rouser.
Yeah, she normally is, mate. It's either her or me. So I mean, I'm glad it was her at this time. So
we can have a mail calendar. We got lots of you on. My husband, Philip, you. So we could do a mail calendar at the end of the day. That would be great.
Maybe 2021.
Yeah, I've seen the comment about Philip. So maybe 2021 you can make.
He's embarrassed now, bless him. Leave the fella alone. He's got involved in this business community. And look, he's turned orange. Anyway, let's swiftly move on from the Havering Means Business 2021 men's calendar. I don't know how that happened. Let's talk about wins of the week. Bill, do you want to? I mean, it's like he's had a drop of water to recover. I can see that on my screen.
Yeah, and trying to cool back down. Face turned into a tomato.
Talk about what's gone well in your world this week, mate.
To be honest, as I said, we're obviously the online boot camps have still been going. We still had a lot of consistency with those. So it's been good to see everyone throughout December keep coming back. Obviously with the outdoor boot camp, obviously that launched on Saturday. Obviously we've got bookings in for this week as well, so it's really positive. So I guess it's just nice to see starting to feel a bit more consistency and actually being able to focus on some of the other bits, some of the marketing and the video content. Managed to get quite a lot of that done this week, so quite pleased to get some good content done this week. So yeah, I guess the content creation probably the win of the week for me in that respect.
And in terms of delivery, when's that going out?
So I've started posting some out today. Some of them will be going onto my website. And obviously what I hadn't included before when I was just launching the bootcamp was obviously the fact that I do obviously one-to-one personal training as well. So I'm adding that to the website as well. So I'm going to be putting some of that video into YouTube. So I've got private links on YouTube and obviously embedding that to the website and things like that. So all coming together. So as much as it's kind of social media content, it's actually content that when people come to my website, obviously they can actually get a feel for sort of the kind of things that I'm doing as well, really.
And the platform you use on your website seems to be pretty good. I mean, I've
yeah, to be honest, it's amazing. Gymcatch is it's really easy because what I was obviously I kind of experienced from being involved with kind of other people's boot camps as a participant and things like that. It just never really felt like it. Just all felt a little. There's an informality of it, which is good for community, but it doesn't help you grow. And the idea is to make it as easy for people to get involved as possible, and to actually, when you go into a boot camp, you don't necessarily want to be coming with money and having to sort out change. And so many people saying, "Oh, can you pay with card?" And I was just like, "Why aren't why aren't more people doing this? And
And
you know,
the thing-
Gymcatch, you
don't
can
want the
get all your
advertising money as either, do you? That's the-
exactly, and you don't have to do it that way. So Gymcatch, it's really easy to sign up, and then you can see all of the sessions. Like you don't, there's a certain amount of take what you like from it, so you can see all of the full schedule of what's on offer, and yeah, you can get involved with what you want, and you can book and pay, and you don't have to kind of go down convoluted ways of tracking. If people have bought sort of blocks of sessions, that's all automated. If people cancel sort of within the cancellation period, it automatically refunds the credits back into the account and stuff like that. So as long as it's within the sort of the cancellation period, you don't kind of go over that, then yeah, if you know that the something comes up for work, you can cancel and you can automatically get your credit back to use on a later session. So it just makes it all a lot easier. So yeah, it's a really good tool, and you can obviously you can do the manual bits and offer like promotional codes if you're running a promotion, things like that. It just brings everything together, makes it a lot easier.
Amazing stuff. And I'll see you in a week on Saturday's time for boot camp at the airfield. I'm looking forward to it.
Sounds good. I'll get a special workout just for you. Lots of burpees.
Make sure there's no burpees in it, mate.
I know you love a burpee, so I'll make sure they're all included.
I don't need any more. So I'll quickly do my wins of the week. So 2 new clients come on board this week for me, so that's all good. Unfortunately, because we've got a bit of a waiting list now, they're going to be January clients as opposed to now, but certainly getting their commitment to work with us has been good. And I might have mentioned it 3 or 4 times. Chartered financial planner, and once we get the firm chartered, which will be probably within the next 2 months, as far as I'm aware, will be the only chartered financial planning firm in Havering. So that's going to be the next step forward for us. Quite a big step. So super excited. Got 3 years of work come to a culmination. And I've now got to think about what's next. What am I going to fill my time with? I might get a hobby. Ian, what's your big win of the week?
I've had some big wins on previous weeks, so my win might actually be quite small, but I think it's important for me, and it's knowing that Amy does the captions. That I've been trying to link up with someone, had someone recommended to me before, been sending them emails, had no response. So yeah, that's a weight off my mind. So I've actually sent her a little message on Facebook already. So ask her to look for it, Phil.
Yeah, and you know what? That's fundamental for the video content, isn't it? That captions is. I think we spoke about it when we had that marketing chat, and our little 60-minute videos that we've been sort of sending out every year. The captions have really driven interest, so I think it's important when you're doing content. Thanks, Ian. Appreciate that, mate. Paul, what's your big win of the week?
IT wise, I've managed to move one of my existing old clients away from using PCs and put a proper server in. So they've actually ordered a server now. That should be coming hopefully early next week, and by the end of next week they should be kind of future proofed. And because they want to achieve a lot more stuff remotely and online wise. What they had was purely going to work locally, so that's a big thing for them. Not cheap, but it's going to make them work a lot more efficiently and better. Council wise,
sorry, can I understand what you did for them? So they're, what kind of business are they?
It's a alarm company. They install alarms and remotely monitor and all that stuff.
Okay, and why was a server needed?
They had everything running locally on local PCs just to LAN. They're moving to a more, I suppose, cloud-based environment where their engineers are going to be dialing in to get their jobs and updating and doing everything else. Their environment was okay, but a single little issue would knock them completely out. So they're going to be a lot more resilient now.
Yeah, and when you say their own server, is the server on the cloud or is it?
Oh, they're actually having a local server.
Yeah, okay.
So rather than a cloud server, they're having a local server, and they're doing what you call RDP connections, so that people can work from home and have everything, still access all the same software as they would normally. So we're moving them in a direction I didn't think they ever would.
I mean, a server in the cloud is a bit of an anomaly. It's based somewhere, isn't it?
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean?
Cloud just means storage elsewhere. It's basically in a warehouse somewhere, not where you are. I honestly thought that the way computers will go, that's rather than you have your own computer and you replace it every 2 years, you'll rent a space on a server, which gives you a virtual machine and it just displays back to you. That's going to be honest, the best way forward, because you then don't have to worry about, you say, I need a faster machine, say, all right, you give me some extra RAM or give me a faster CPU, and it should cost you a certain amount per month rather than you splashing out, when you've need something a bit better.
I suppose the challenge you've got with that is you need the consistent web connections, don't you?
That's going to be. But then again, everything's web connected now. If you was at home and your web wasn't working, you wouldn't be doing much.
Yeah, spot on. And how about on the council side?
There's a lot of things I can't talk about because there's things you'd get involved with, you can't. But one of the things I can say is a experimental traffic order I've been trying to get in for quite a while. That's making its way up. It's basically to try and make an area a bit safer.
Okay.
Yeah, but to go for the hoops and jumps and everything else, being an experimental one, I don't actually have to get permission from all the people it's going to affect their road. So because experimental, it can last from 6 to 18 months, but I've still got to go through a whole bunch of legal and other issues before we can get it put in. If it doesn't work, I can get it removed quite quickly, but I think it's one thing I've been trying to fight and make a certain road a lot safer.
You know what? The problem is now, Paul, I'm curious about the stuff you can't tell us. So we're all friends here.
Honestly, there's so much stuff you guys don't want to know that goes on.
Yeah. Actually, keep it private. Ross, what's your big wins of the week?
It's been a great week with regards to sales, views, and everything like that. But I guess my biggest win of the week, and I would always see it as my biggest win of the week, is when I'm able to pass knowledge down onto others. And this week I spent some time for the last couple of weeks, I've spent some time with my friend's daughter to educate her on how to create an online print-on-demand business. She's decided, after a personal experience, she's decided to launch a anti-bullying campaign. I'm going to support her 100%. But more importantly than supporting her, I'm going to show her and teach her the skills she needs to create a business and run it and manage it.
Love it. Absolutely love it. And I think that passing the legacy on to the next generation. I mean, certainly some of you know Hervé, who works with me. He came to me and said, I want to learn to be a financial planner. He did a financial planning degree, and just being able to give him that start in career and that opportunity to learn is amazing for me. And one of the projects that we do is a financial education program in schools every year. And it's the scariest audience I've got to face every year. Give me a room full of adults any day of the week. But certainly doing that work is always a win for me. So I get where you're coming from, Ross. What did she teach you?
Patience.
Yeah, I've got an 8-year-old. I know that one. I'm still trying to learn it, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I don't think business is exciting to a kid, but I'm a keen advocate of trying to give younger kids certain knowledge, because one, they won't learn it at school, or very unlikely to learn it at school. Secondly, I know what's coming with regards to what the future looks like and what certain jobs will exist and what won't. And there's certain things that I'm learning at 37 that I wish I'd learned at their age. So if I can, everything that I learn, I teach my nephews or my,
Okay, well, that's an interesting question. What did you wish you'd known 10 years ago?
Big up list for this one, I think. Yeah, I was going to say the list's too long.
The list is too long. The truth of the matter is, investing in the right things, investing your time correctly, investing your time in the right people, investing my money better.
Yeah, 100%.
Saying yes to your girlfriend's ideas or missus.
Of course, that's the biggest
one.
Yeah.
Kevin, thank you, mate. Sorry, Rose, I put you on the spot there, mate.
That's fine.
It's really interesting. I ran the Havering Chamber of Commerce meeting this morning, and then I jumped on and did a podcast recording for my podcast interview. And this guy who got introduced to me who runs a business called Blue Tree Savings, and they teach kids about the basics of money and investing. Really interesting project. You check it out. It's the guy's a good guy. Kevin, what's your big win of the week?
Okay, my big win of the week, several cases gone to offer, Chris, but I've also got to state, let's look here, you've become a chartered planner. I know the aggravation, the time, that everything you've gone through to exams. After 3 years' efforts, mate, that's a brilliant win of the week.
Thank you,
Very
mate.
good.
I appreciate it.
Mate. Appreciate it. I've gone through part of it. You've done the whole lot, done well.
Yeah, I'm. You know what? It's weird, right? So my motivation wasn't financial to get chartered. It was my dad. So my dad's 74 now, and I just want him to. Weirdly, as you know, business is quite established. We do all right. The chartered financial planning status will help the business. But I really want to take my dad to the graduation ceremony, and that weirdly in the days when it was really tough, part of my motivation was nothing to do with like sort of me. It's to do with making my dad proud, and I think we all go through that sort of period of time where you go, I want to do it. But that was the motivation that I needed. Yeah, it's all good. But thank you, mate. I appreciate your support on it. Joe, tell us a little bit about what your win of the week was or is.
I had quite a few new customers actually, Havering based. Yay! So that's fantastic.
Good.
And also managed to convince my husband to actually take a day off, which is like impossible. So he took a day off, and I'm sitting here doing this.
This is because I normally don't work on Fridays, but I'm finding myself doing this on my day off. So I don't know whether switching off is my thing really. What did your husband do, Joe?
Oh, he works basically works in a worldwide bank, basically doing similar stuff to Ian.
Oh, yeah.
He works with the compliance and risk and stuff. So
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So what are you doing on your day off then? Like now, once this call's over, you're not carrying on working. You are going to spend a bit of it with him, right?
No, hopefully we're going to actually go out and do something, because we've been in isolation because our son goes to college and he's been put in isolation. So we've kind of done the right thing and sort of stayed out of everyone's way pretty much as well. So today is our freedom day. Yay. Right. So we're going to go out and do something.
I'm taking my youngest out for a trip to the art gallery on Sunday. And Cassie and I are actually having a date day on Tuesday. We're going out for dinner. And do you remember Rebecca Ferguson from the X Factor? She was like a jazz. She's singing over at Boysdale's in Canary Wharf. So we've got tickets for that. So that'd be good. So I'm really looking forward to that. Elisabetta, your win of the week. What's gone well for you this week?
This week is going well. The fact that we had lots of clients inquire about the Christmas time, and the fact that talking about time off, I decide to take the next weekend off, the one of the New Year's Eve. We really need a break. So because when you run your own business in a lockdown, in our house we have the kitchen that has been checked and approved 5 stars on hygiene, but you never take time off. We always decide that Monday, Tuesday, our time off. Wednesday, we do all the shopping. Thursday is the prep. Friday is the cooking. Saturday, Sunday, delivery. It's never.
The challenge you've got, and I was sort of glad to go back to the office last week, is that when you're working from home, that line between work and life is difficult, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's hardly impossible. So I have 2 kids that they're quite 16 and 17, but they need attention still. So I haven't been able to look after their homework. So we decide that every night at 7 o'clock, we have a dinner together, doesn't matter what, to get some family life. And we did decide to have the Monday, Tuesday off, but it's never happening. Me with the computer, so it's a lot of posting, replying, emails, so much that you have to do. People that call in at the last minute, we never like to say no. So it's never off. That's why I decided that we will deliver up to 24th for Christmas. Our food is fresh, can be kept 3 days in the fridge, frozen for 3 months. So if they want something for the New Year's, they can order before, and we will have, you know, the weekend up. At least we have 1 week off with the kids in the warmth, because it's very cold. And that's what I'm looking for.
And you know what? I think, like, you work hard for a reason, and if you don't take the time to sometimes, you know, do that sort of stuff, it's important to do. I'm sort of, I might take the 19th off, Phil. I mean, like Elizabeth has like persuaded me. I can't come to boot camp now. I've got to spend it with the girls.
Well, just think of the mental benefit that you'll have from coming along. That will allow you to unwind, get rid of the stress.
True. That's absolutely right. Thank you guys for joining me on.
Having a real good day off.
No, listen, I'm there. As soon as I'm done on this call, I've got to get my chartered certificate. I've got to order that online. My next job is to book on the 19th, so I'll be there, mate.
Yes.
Have a lovely weekend, everybody. Thank you for joining me again on the lunch. Havering Means Business Does Lunch. I'm really enjoying running these sessions. They've been really good fun. Have a lovely weekend, and see you on the community. See you later. Bye.
See you later, everyone.
Have fun, everyone.
Bye.